Are you an electronic music maker who loves music like this? But do you feel your music lacks strength and individuality? Do you have an inability to execute the music you can hear in your own head? There's a saying in jazz, play what you hear. That means musicians try to develop the ability to hear music in their head and then play it on their instrument. Now, I believe the great electronic music makers did something similar. They learned how to hear music in their head and then make it with their equipment. So how are you going to do this? How are you going to learn to translate the music in your head out into the world? This course, the Foundations of Electronic Musicmaking, will teach you how to do exactly that. By practicing these 7 key areas I've identified, your technique and your imagination will improve until you get closer to creating that elusive sound that's inside your own head. But how do I know? Have I got any credentials? Well, I've spent 30 years developing musical skills in jazz, music composition, electronic music production, and in education. I've released music on D1, Dan Curtin's Metamorphic Recordings, Winthorpe Electronics, and my own label Zoitrax, picking up DJ support from the likes of Laurent Garnier, Josh Wink, Slam, and Colin Dale, just to name a few. I've also been a participant in the Red Bull Music Academy in Melbourne 2006 and played gigs as a professional musician and DJ since the late 90s. I founded a school called Ultimate School of Music in Dublin and spent 10 years and over 10,000 hours teaching people to understand music. Okay, now back to your music. How is this course going to help you? How are you going to learn to execute what's in your mind? Through these 7 steps. Now let's take a closer look at what I call the 7 foundations. The first is composition. This is so you can capture the seeds of ideas that have the most energy and originality in them and then develop them into full tracks. This is not taught on most electronic music courses, so you'll find things here you're not going to find elsewhere. The second foundation is sound design. Your sound design is the sound of your music. If you only rely on other people's sounds and sample packs, your music isn't really going to sound like you. If you do use samples, you can layer them with your own unique sounds to make the sound your own. In this module, we'll create sounds in our own environment using a phone or field recorder. The third module is bass drum and bass sound choices. The bass is the foundation of most electronic music, and it's the hardest thing to make. So getting the bass right is the third foundation. The fourth is compression. I've never heard anyone clearly explain how, why, and when to use compression. In this module, I'll teach you how to know through your own experience how, why, and when to use it in your music. The fifth module is EQ and reverb, both super important, and if you don't learn to use them correctly, then your music can be muddy or dry and boring. Also, if you overuse them, it sounds terrible. So we'll learn how to do it right. The sixth module is mix engineering. It's not my favorite thing to do, tweaking EQs for hours and hours. I've learned a lot through the years from various engineers and courses that I've done. I'm going to teach you the essentials that are really important so that we can get a mix that gets our musical ideas across and doesn't take too long. The seventh and final module is arrangement. The arrangement of your music is the difference between whether someone will keep listening to a whole track or get bored and stop listening. In this module, we'll look at examples of what I think are great arrangements and why they work so well, so that we can learn from them and learn how to arrange our own tracks. Now, I know someone was going to be thinking, oh, I could learn all these 7 on my own on YouTube. And theoretically you could. But what are the chances you find great information in the right order and you actually do it? No one will be giving you assignments throughout the way and you won't have a community to share your works in progress and get feedback. All these things you're going to get with the Foundations of Electronic Musicmaking. I know of no other course out there that focuses on the whole music making process from the seed idea to the finished track with a focus on sounding unique like yourself alone, and it costs as little as this course does. The community that I've built up around this course is really friendly and welcoming, and you'll have no worries about sharing your works in progress if you want to get feedback on the Discord server. You can check out testimonials from students below this video. For the rest of the video, the music that we'll be playing is from course participants. Now you have a choice. You can keep on looking here and there and randomly coming across certain nuggets at certain times that help you. Or you can get this course and in 7 modules learn what you need to have a strong foundation for your electronic music making. The value of my course comes from the decades I've spent learning jazz, music composition, electronic music production and all the many hours I've spent teaching and learning how to communicate ideas. Now, I've spent well into the six figures on my education, on courses and teachers and mentors since the late 90s. I have to put a value on this course and ask you to pay me in return for this knowledge and experience. I'd like to give it away for free, but then I'd probably become very hungry and possibly homeless. You can buy the course right now for 2 payments of £97 or 1 payment of £189. But over time, as I add more and more bonus modules into the course, I will be increasing the price. If you get the course now, you'll get lifetime access, including all the bonus modules that get added in the future. I'll never ask you to pay any more. And here's my guarantee. If within 2 weeks you don't find this course useful, I'll give you a full refund. So click here to sign up right now and join me and other course participants in the Discord server, sharing works in progress and making the strongest, most individual sounding tracks you've ever made.